Mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Back again. I cut my way out. See, that music almost had me saying something else, but I cut my way out podcast. Available everywhere where you can listen to podcasts. YouTube as well. How you been?
Man, I'm good. I'm good, man. Just grinding and, man, happy to be back in here again. Everything is good. What about yourself?
Doing good.
Everything was cool with the week? Productive?
Yeah, good week.
Okay.
You know, getting ready to trying to stay COVID free.
Okay.
You know, it's gonna be difficult, but you know, gotta do it.
No doubt. No doubt.
So
it's a challenge in and of itself, but gotta do what we gotta do.
Yep.
So,
well, let's get into it.
Man, back for another episode. For all of you guys that are following, subscribing, sharing, giving feedback, we greatly appreciate it. This week, man, we have another very, very special guest. This young man, he's a professional barber. He's out of the Mississippi area, Ridgeland. To be exact, he cuts in Ridgeland. His name is Austin Holloway. He goes by AO, the Ace of Fades. Yes, sir. He also, man, he's a guy that I follow pretty heavy on IG, man, and I was just extremely impressed with his cuts, but not only his cuts, also his grind, man. He has products, man. He has merchandise, man. He has his own gimmick, man, and he's definitely cutting his way out and he's doing his thing. So we would definitely we're honored and privileged to welcome onto the I Cut My Way Out podcast, Austin Holloway, aka How you doing, Austin, man? We're happy to have you, bro.
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. How you guys doing?
Man, we cannot complain, man. Cannot complain at all. Just maintain it, man. That's about it.
And first off, I want to say I'm just happy to be speaking with you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us. You know, my co-host put me up on you. He was like, man, you gotta check out this brother on the gram. Cuts are immaculate, and you know, I'm not just saying it, but once I went to your IG and just started scrolling, like you may be probably one of the best barbers that I follow, and I follow a lot. And you know, I guess I'm saying all that to say you definitely an impressive barber, man. And just thanks for joining us.
Right.
Man, I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. So you crafting, and man, I love your grind, man. You just go hard, man. So with that being said, man, we're gonna jump into some of these questions, man, and just dialogue, man, and have a good time, man. So one of the things that kind of caught me off the bat as I started to follow you was the name, man. I said, man, that's a hell of a name. That's catchy, man. And then it just went hand in hand with your work that you're putting up. So can you tell us, man, how did you come up with the name, the Ace of Fades?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My girlfriend came up with the name, man. She's a nail tech out of the area as well.
Okay.
And man, we were coming from Houston, she was going for a class, a one-on-one class in Houston. Okay. And we was down there for the weekend, and we was headed home, and she just out of the blue cut the radio down and was like, AO, Ace. She was like, Ace of Fades. Right. And I was like, man, that kind of sound like a strip club name or something, you know. I wasn't sure at first, and then when I after a while it just set in, I kept saying it over and over, and it was like perfect, you know. The AO comes from my first name is Austin, my middle name is O'Neal. Like the people that grew up with me, like my family, they call me O'Neal. Like people that get to know me along the way, they call me Austin. And I got a handful of a lot of friends actually that call me AO. They call me that on the court.
Okay.
Like people I played ball against, and it just went hand in hand. Like her creativity is next level. Like and we ran with it. Like I came up with I got a friend from this area. He's a great graphic designer.
Okay.
His name is Ryan Lawson, and I sat down with him and told him my ideas, man, and he came up with the card idea, everything. Like it kind of just everything came together all at once. You know, like I said, it was just started from an idea, and it just kind of blossomed to what it is now.
Right. It's kind of morphed into something of its own. I seen it even the cards. I said, man, that's super slick. That's catchy, and you know, that definitely something for social media, man. Yeah, that was real slick. So with the name, man, how long have you been cutting?
Honestly, I've been cutting hair professionally for 5 years.
Okay.
But I've been cutting hair, period, since I was probably 11 or 12 years old.
Okay.
Like, I've been cutting a majority of my life like that. I always was cutting everywhere I went, you know, from school, from like all through high school, all through majority junior high. And it's just something that kind of stuck with me. And like I said, I've been cutting for quite some time. It's just like I said, I have been cutting professionally for 5 years. I've been licensed for 5+ years.
That's what's up. Okay. And who put the clippers in your hand? Like what was your introduction, you know, as far as the clippers?
Like, I always had a weird fascination with them. Like, my dad used to always, he always kept some clippers around because he would touch me and my brother in between haircuts.
Okay.
So for some reason, like when I was young, like when I was probably, I can remember vividly, like when I was young, like 4 and 5, I would always find these clippers. He would always have to hide them. And I would always find them. I always found them and play with them. I would just drag them through the house, you know, just always have them. And it seemed like my mom, she used to give us, me and my younger brother, she used to give us money for good grades, you know, and
right.
and I wanted to be, I love, you know, so I wanted to be a tattoo artist, you know.
Okay.
But, you know, at a young age, you know, you get money for your report card and all this and that, and I wanted her to, you know, I asked her about, I want a tattoo gun. I want to use my money to buy a tattoo gun. She was like, no way.
Right.
You know, your younger brother's going to be your guinea pig, so nah, y'all can't be 11 to 12 years old with tattoos, you know.
Right. No doubt.
I went to the next best thing. I picked up clippers, and it seemed like from day one, it was like instant. Like, it was something it didn't take me long to pick up on.
Okay.
I got my first pair of clippers with a pair of razor edge.
Okay.
They were made by Wall. Wall
yep.
razor edge.
Yeah.
They were back when they were red, had the 5-star on them.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, you always had an artistic background, because you got to be artistic to want to do the tattoo thing, right?
Yeah, I'm big on drawing. Like, that's something I used to always do. I used to draw everything every day, like from cars, haircuts. Like, I was drawing like all my youth. So
okay.
It was just something like I used to just be fascinated with, like I said, drawings. I would get lowrider magazines and go straight to the art section.
Okay.
Just the drawings.
Okay. That's what's up. And so it was just something that took hold and stuck. So I imagine when you talk about guinea pig, so your brother must have been your first client as well.
Yeah, he was my first one. Him and my dad, like I've been cutting them since, man, for a long time. My younger brother, he done had probably every haircut you can name.
That's what's up. Have an in-home barber. That's lucky everybody don't get that.
Yeah, that's where it started in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
My dad was in the kitchen. He frying chicken. I'm cutting hair.
Man, I can relate to that.
Yeah. So Austin, you kind of just you got it in briefly, but I caught it. You said that you used to hoop, or you play ball. So can you talk about where you honed your skills, and was that your first love? Or, well, I mean, you just said you know 11. So where did playing ball come in as far as just, you know, cutting? Was you cutting in the locker room? Was that another outlet to get money cutting?
Oh man, like with basketball, I'm gonna be honest. Basketball was my first love. Like, basketball was the love of my life. Like, always imagined being a hooper, but haircutting was something that always kept me balanced. Like, it was like it had became like a therapy for me. Like, if I was having trouble on the court, I would cut teammates up and cut hair, and it would take my mind off a lot of things that I was battling on the court.
Right.
Like, I played ball. I played ball in my high school, at McGee High School. After I graduated McGee, I furthered my education at Southwest Mississippi Community College.
Okay.
On a basketball scholarship, and after that, I went to Mississippi College on another basketball scholarship. Southwest was a junior college.
Right.
And I was cutting throughout that whole time. Like, even in high school, the principal came into the locker room one time, I can remember. And he came, we was in the locker room, he came, and I was cutting up some of my teammates, and he was like, "This is how y'all prepare for the game? Like, y'all got a big game tonight, and y'all up in here cutting hair?" Like,
Hey.
I was like, "Coach Darren, like, this is what we do. This is barbershop talk. We having barbershop talk in the locker room. You know, we discussing the game as well. We just getting fresh in the process."
Man.
Right, you look good, you play good, right?
Absolutely. And that was something one of my teammates said. They was like, "We look good, we play good." You know, they was just joke around with him. But he was kind of upset because I guess he thought we was gonna be in there, you know, game planning, but which we weren't. We just weren't doing it in a way that he expected.
Right.
All right.
And truthfully, those things go hand in hand. I've never seen a ball player that didn't want to be fresh. And it's funny because I know you and I talk, and, you know, there's a little stretch in age, but, you know, we did the exact same thing, man, when we were in high school, and a lot of brothers who, you know, it was a few guys who could get down and cut in the locker room, and I really don't think they seen the vision or thought it could be as lucrative or would it evolve into what it is today, man. And because it was a few of us brothers that got down with the Clippers. So, man, you know, that's all around the world. I don't care what geographic location you're in. You know, those Clippers are mandatory and important everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
So
I had a lot of teammates that were talented with Clippers as well.
Really?
You know, you would come in the locker room some days, it looked like a barber school in the locker room.
Right, getting at
you know, you got 3 or 4 guys cutting on three other 4 guys. You know, just cutting in each other's head
and getting after. So also tell our listeners, because you and I had an interesting conversation, and I know I went through the ball thing too, but in all honesty, man, I'm 5'9", so even though I was a good ball player for my area, it was kind of short-lived, right? But you having that hoop dream and continuing to go on with it, tell the listeners how tall you are, and it kind of goes hand in hand, because when you're your height, you can continue having that hoop dream, because it kind of goes hand in hand. So can you share that with us?
Yeah, I'm actually 6'8". You know, I'm a pretty tall. I'm probably one of the tallest barbers, but it's something that I don't know. Like, it came a point where the balance became different. You know, I like my passion for cutting hair. Like, I grew my passion for playing ball. And like I said, basketball is something I had been doing all my life. You know, all my life, just like haircut. And it became a point where I was rather wanting to cut hair than to play ball. You know.
Yes, sir.
How did you get to that point? Like, what happened? Was it just something that you woke up one day and just decided that I'm just going to do this and leave the ball alone? Like, what happened? Like, what do you just remember? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, sir. It was a lot. It was kind of a lot that took place for that to happen. Like, throughout the period of time, like, I actually tried to put hair cutting down. I tried to cut that out of my life. Like, I was like, you know, people were like, "Man, you a barber?" Man, like, I'm not a barber. I'm a hooper. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna go to the league. What are y'all talking about? I'm not a barber. It had became a point where I actually was trying to put hair cutting down. I was trying to put hair cutting down, and I couldn't. It seemed like it was a gift that kept popping up. Like, it was something that I couldn't walk away from. Like, the more I tried to put it down, put away from it, had got to a point where I had gave my whole setup away. You know what I'm saying? Gave my clippings and stuff away. And when I got to college, I met a guy that was working at a beauty supply warehouse, and he ended up bringing me a whole nother setup, and I end up right back into it again.
How did he identify? Did you have a name that at that point too?
Talking about a name and cutting?
Yeah. To whether beauty supply owner.
This was me hiding it. This was me kind of hiding at this point. When I first went to college, like everybody from my hometown knew I could cut hair real good, because I had a lot of clients when I was before I left high school. So when I got to Mississippi, when I got to Southwest, I was kind of quiet about it. I wasn't really telling too many people about that I cut hair, but it was other barbers that was on campus.
Okay.
And they were pretty nice too. But I was still laying low, just going to school, playing ball. And I had a roommate. My roommate at the time, he was from my hometown, and he knew I could cut. So he would ask me, "Hey man, give me a cut, man. Go ahead and chop me up." And I cut him up, and people, our room was kind of the room you wanted to come kick it at. And so at the time, people come knocking on the door, and they, "Hey man, y'all cut hair? Like, I ain't know nobody cut hair. Why y'all ain't tell us this and that?" And it started growing. And this kind of happened to me like before every school year. My second year, when I was at school, my roommate was actually a high school rival of mine at high school. He was from another high school in the area. And my coach, his name is Coach Wise, he thought it was pretty funny. So when I got to school, I got there before he did, and I was like, I wonder who my roommate is. I wonder who everybody got their roommate. I wonder who my roommate is. So I get to the gym for the meeting, and my coach laughed. He was like, "Man, have you met your roommate yet?" I was like, "Nah. What's funny?" He was like, "I got a surprise for you. Get to the room after the meeting." He got there late, and it was a guy that we went at it in high school together. Me and him, and we ended up finding out later on we were cousins. And he was like my walking billboard. Like when I heard it from him for probably about the first 2 months of school.
Okay.
And one day I brought my clippers out and was cutting my own hair. And he was like, "Man, you didn't tell me you could cut hair?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I do a little something, not going into detail."
Right.
And I cut his hair one time. And when I cut his hair that one time, it took off. Like I was the barber on campus now.
That's what's up. So at that point, how much were you charging for cuts?
I probably charging like $10.
Oh, right.
Probably $5 to $10.
Okay.
And what year was this?
This was like 2007.
Okay.
2007.
And I'm just curious, 6'8", what position did you play?
Forward. I played forward, center.
Okay.
I played from the 3, 4, and 5. Probably I had times where I played the small forward position, but a lot of times I played power forward or center, but mostly power forward.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, we always have these. I have a lot of friends. I have about 4 friends that are JUCO coaches, and I always call them and like, "Okay, what you looking for?" Bigs. That's it. So I mean, not even knowing how good you were or are, I know you 6'8" is definitely going to be a spot for you. Even today, probably you could probably go out there at your age now and somebody, okay, sign him up. Even if you had eligibility. But man, Austin, I'm very fascinated with his journey. Yeah.
And that's the thing, Austin. We I was a baller with sports fans. I actually coached for 11 years. And so I have my own story. I went through the whole growing pains with ball and really didn't know what I wanted to do, right? So at what point did you realize that you could no longer leave your passion behind, even though basketball was your number one love? At what point in time did you know that, hey, this barbering thing is what I'm going to do from here on out?
It became a point where I was just getting better and better. I was getting better and better. Like when I went to senior college, there was a guy that was there, and he had his dorm set up like a barbershop, like, and it blew my mind. Like he stayed like one story up. He stayed one story up from us, one floor up from us, and I had to go to one of my teammates. I had to go past his room to get to my teammate's room. And I used to walk by it all the time. And I was like, man, that guy room looked like a barbershop. You know, it used to just, every time I passed through there, he had it set up so nice. And it was like, it was mind blowing to me. And this was before I had started cutting at the senior college. I was cutting a little bit, but I wasn't cutting enough. I wasn't cutting much because, like I said, at this time I'm still trying to hide it. I'm still trying to.
You're still low key with it.
Yeah, but when I went home on the weekends, I'd be flat out cutting. I'd be flat out cutting the whole weekend I'm home.
Okay.
And one day I was in my room, just chilling in my room, and the dude came and knocked on my door. Mm-hmm. And this was after I had started cutting a little bit. My name started breaking way through school. Okay. And the tall guy that play ball, man, he nice on the clip and started spreading. I started cutting my teammates, and then started going to other people. I had people that were driving from other colleges up the street to come get their haircut.
Okay. So
at this point, the guy came up to me and he was like, hey man, he was finna get ready to graduate. And he gave me his book with all his clients. Like, he gave me all his clients. He was like, wow, man, I've been checking you out, man. Like, you nice, man. And like, you can really do something with this. I know you love playing ball, you know, which I know you do. He was like, but man, you can really make some money with doing this, you know. Not saying you can't make money playing ball. Like he said, he was older. He was in graduate school.
Okay.
So he was a little older, and like I said, I never really looked at haircutting like that. You know, I didn't look at it as, you know, being a professional or anything like that. It was just something that I knew how to do, and I couldn't explain how I knew how to do it. It's just something I knew how to do.
Right. Wow.
I got another question. So while you were in school and you laying low, so you have the academic responsibility, the athletic responsibility, and then as your name ringing on campus, and you obviously staying busy cutting hair, did you have any pushback from like your coaches or even some of your teammates because of the time that cutting hair might take up from books as well as, you know, practice and resting? Because, I mean, you are on your feet when you cut. So did you have any pushback from coaches and teammates and things like that with the time that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Really? I figured you would.
I definitely did. My coaches used to always tell me, like, we can be just getting out of practice, and I'd be walking off and get ready to go to the locker room and get jerseys. He'll come in like Austin. He'll look at me dead in the face and be like, we ain't opening the barbershop tonight, or you know, we got a big game. We got a big game tomorrow night. We don't need you up all night cutting hair. And I get to my room after practice, and I have sticky notes all on my door. People would leave. They'll put like their name. Like, they didn't know a lot of people didn't have my contact, so they knew my room was. So they would write sticky notes, leave their name and number, and tell me to call them. And I'll get back to my room after practice, and it's sticky notes all over the door, all over the door.
Wow. And go ahead.
So again, Austin, I'm fascinated by your story with the hoop, so the money, I mean, just the time and the money, because at your school, was the scholarship like you're not being paid, and you probably looking like, I can get, you know, a couple $100 or $100 just tonight, and it just call you, right? Or I mean, so what was your mentality, knowing you had a big game and maybe coach pushing back, but you may need a few dollars in your pocket for the weekend or whatever? Like, what took over your mind when you had to make that decision?
Honestly, it kind of went hand in hand, because to me, as a barber, like, haircutting, like being a barber and cutting hair, is very therapeutic.
Right.
Like, it was times where I was nervous before a game, and I line one of my teammates up before the game and be in a whole different space than what I was before I actually took the court.
Right.
You know, it was kind of like a mind calmer. Like, if I was worried about something, I was worried about something that was going on back home. Right. It always kind of gave me that peace to let me know everything was all right. You know, because I'm doing something that I love. But at that time, I didn't realize how much I loved it until I stepped away from basketball.
And it takes your mind off it. It's equivalent, like you said, to basketball, because, you know, you get them 2 hours of basketball, and, you know, You forget everything else in the world that's going on. You forget about it. You know, and like you said, it's the same with cutting hair. It's therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? That's your craft. You crafting, and you just honing in on that. Yeah.
And they kind of translated because, like, when I was on the court, I took a lot. Like, I took a lot of my. I ain't gonna say a lot of my pain, a lot of my frustrations, and a lot of the things I was going through. I used to take it out on the court.
That's what's up.
And at the same time, I used to take it out on people's heads too. Like when I'm standing behind the chair, I'm giving you emotion. I'm giving you passion. I'm giving you a lot of things that keep me in a positive space.
Yeah.
I put all that into cutting hair. Like I look at haircut like an art. You know, it's definitely like an art to me. And like every head is like its own individual canvas.
Yeah.
You know, it's your job to put that image that you have in your head to be able to put it on their face, on their head.
And bro, that's when you know that you love this game. You know what I'm saying? That's when you know you love this game for real. That's just, you know, that's just a breath of fresh air for me to hear you say that, man, because that's how I feel. And being older, for me, man, it was crazy because I've been cutting hair and then I let everything else go, and I'm 44, and that's my approach to it. You know what I mean? Like, man, it's just a breath of fresh air. So with us talking about, before we move on, because we got some other questions, right? Before we move on, you know, with the basketball thing and how it correlates to cutting hair, me and my boy Jinx, we've always, you know, hair, fashion, those have always been big. So you being a hooper, and I'm asking Jinx this too, who are some of the guys you look at in the league and you be like, man, them dudes got some cold barbers, man. That dude got a nice cut. Are there any ball players that you don't watch that, you know, at the next level in the league that you look at him and every time you see him like, man, dude, somebody done whip dude up?
I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. Like you talking about today or back then?
Just period. Just anybody that you can think of. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Jalen Rose.
Yes,
every time I see Jalen Rose on TV, I don't pay attention to nothing he's talking about. I just be looking at his haircut like, man, who is lacing this guy like this? Like, who is this guy?
Man.
You know, but I found out who it was some years ago, but it was just always like, man.
Right.
Every time you see him, his haircut is there.
Man. And he has a few different barbers, but lately Andy Authentic has been lacing him and you know, Hawk cut his hair, but lately, man, his haircut's just been Andy Authentic. He you know, he's cold, but he just been in a whole different space with Jalen's hair, man. Like you said, I just be tuned in looking at his head too, you know. And actually, Jalen and Jinx know Jalen. I'm a lefty, and so I'm a lefty too. Yeah, and you know what? I told my man that I was watching you cut on Instagram, but Jalen being a point guard and being a lefty, he was always out of the five. He was my favorite player. You know, but just to put y'all up on a couple people, and I don't know how far you go back watching the league. One of the guys that I always thought kept, especially early on in his career, that kept one of the tightest cuts, and it was so consistent. You never seen any loose ends. Anytime you seen him play, Joe Johnson always was on point with the haircut.
Oh, absolutely. He was my next. He was about to be my next one. Joe Johnson, whatever season he was in, whether he was on his beard game or he was just on his waves, like, or he was on a twist side cut. Like every time you seen his haircut, you knew he had a good barber beside him. You knew that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he was always on point. Jinx, is there anybody that you can run off right off the top?
One guy. DJ Augustine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, he was light skinned. I mean,
got the good hair. So, I mean, I don't want to take nothing away from his barber, but that's probably one of those easy cuts, though. Yeah.
You know,
he got
but but it still got to be done. You know,
you ever paid any attention to his hair, Austin?
Man, DJ Augustine haircut was fresh when he was at Texas.
Yep, sure.
Like, he always was on his haircut game. Like he always, every time you like I said back when he was in Texas, his haircut was flawless when he was in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could tell he definitely cared about his haircut.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell y'all one more in for me that I've always watched, and it was a ball fade, and it was back in the day. Kevin Johnson always played for Phoenix. Man, his ball fade stayed on point. Stayed. If y'all get a chance,
go look at some pictures. Yeah, because you don't went too far back for me now.
Kevin Johnson, and I don't know if you remember him, AO, but he was a point guard at Phoenix. Matter of fact, he ended up becoming the mayor, I think, in Sacramento.
Yeah,
because he was from Cali. But one of the, if you go back and look, who was it he dunked on?
That was
it Dikembe?
It might have been.
Was it Tom Chambers? It was somebody, man.
Yeah.
Or no, it was Hakeem.
Yeah, it was Hakeem.
It was Hakeem Olajuwon. If you go back, man, pull that up. Kevin Johnson dunks on Hakeem. You'll see who I'm talking about. But, man, his ball fade was always fresh. Always fresh. So yeah, I always, I'm a head watcher as a barber, man. Everybody I see, I probably don't see anything before I see the head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's something you can't help. It's something you can't deny. Like, you could be watching a serious game with somebody, and the game is close, and one of the players with a nice haircut at the free throw line, they'd be like, "Man, he ain't missed a free throw all night." I'd be like, "Man, do you see his haircut? Like, look at his cut.
Yeah,
like, look how good that cut is nice."
All right, so stay on point. That's one of the first things that pop out. Right. So as you transition right from the basketball, did you finish up your 4 year, or did you decide at that time, like, look, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going after this barber thing, and it kind of hit then? Because my next question is, when did you decide to attend barber school?
I actually, like, my parents have been disabled since I was in my teens, my younger teens, and when I was coming up, like, it used to be hard leaving home. Like, I used to. It was times I would cry all the way to school because I was scared that I'll get some bad news while I'm at school.
Wow.
And it was something that I literally used to. It was kind of like a gift and a curse. It was like, I want to be at home working. I want to be at home working. I don't want to be away from my family. And it got to a point where it was like, I want to work. I wanted to work. I had been to school all my life, like majority of my life. I want to work. So my senior season, I didn't forgo my senior season. I came back home and ended up getting a job, and I started. My grandparents have a room at their house that they don't use. Okay. It used to be the garage. They kind of build around it.
Okay.
And that whole summer I came home, I kind of took haircutting like very seriously.
That's what's up.
And it had got so packed. Like, I think I have old pictures from how it used to be in there. And people used to always ask, when they passed through, is something going on? Has somebody passed or something? I was like, nah. I would have cars lined up all the way up the street, like the whole one side of the street is car lined up. People getting haircut, people thinking somebody done passed or thinking it's something going on.
Right,
somebody people coming to get haircuts.
Right. Now, how big is the town you from?
Sure.
How big?
It's not.
Okay.
It's not that big. It's a small little town, but.
So you had it on lock, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, everybody knew what I was putting down. So I've been having a nice size clientele for a long time. I got guys that I've been cutting for 15 plus years.
Yeah, that's
what we were teammates and friends in high school.
That's what's up.
And they started with me through the whole journey. I actually got one of my teammates that I had in my mind, like, I wasn't using a razor because I was like, man, my line's crispy enough. I don't need a razor. And he was like, bro, you need a razor, bro.
Right.
I like, man, I don't know, man. I don't think I was kind of scared of it because I was afraid of cutting somebody. Right. That's. And he came to get a haircut one day. He had a razor and a pack of razors with him. He had a razor holder and a pack of razors. He was like, bro, I'm not leaving here till you use this razor on me.
Okay.
And to this day, I've been I've been on the razor ever since, you know, and this was, like I said, about 15 years ago.
Yeah, that raises that finishing touch.
And he's one of the guys that's really been, like, he always pushed me. Like, his uncle actually owns the barber school that I attended.
Wow.
You know, and he was telling his uncle about me all the time. His uncle is somebody, like, he's legendary. If you come around this area and you say his name, like, they're going to point you in his direction.
Okay.
You know, instantly, because his name holds major weight around here.
Okay.
And I always used to want to get my haircut by him as a kid, but he used to be so booked. We went to another barber that was pretty consistent in the area, but his haircuts was that. You knew his haircuts when you seen him. When you out in public and you see a young kid, and he had his haircut was looking like it was just perfect.
Right.
From the parts and everything, you knew exactly where he went. And I ended up going to his barber school.
Okay. Now, how soon after you came home did you go? You know, once you start cutting, your grandparents' house. At what point did you say, "Man, I'm going to barber school"?
Actually, it was probably like I'm gonna say probably about a year or two, about a good year and a half. Because I was working a job too.
Okay.
And I was cutting hair as well, so I was really I was still wasn't taking it serious. And my grandfather, he would always talk to me. He was like, "Son, hey, you had a lot of people at the house today. You don't think, you know?" and I was like, "Yeah, I kind of noticed." He was like, You ever thought about going to get your license? I was like, it was something I thought about. You know, I always thought about. I had a friend that I grew up with. He passed in 2009.
Sorry to hear
2010. He was me and him. We had got real close like that whole summer. We had got real close, and we actually enrolled in barber school together. He was a beast. Wow. Like, he was a beast. Like, I'm gonna say his name on the record because I take him everywhere with me, everywhere I go. His name was Willie Hobbs.
That's what's up.
Willie Hobbs was a talent. Like, he was a walking talent. He could do everything when it came to his hand. He could draw. Wow. He could play the guitar. He could play the piano. He could play the drums. He could produce music. He was just an all-around talent. Like, his family, it was him and his brothers, and they were some of the most talented guys I ever met. Wow. And he kind of one of the ones that inspired me to go to barber school because he enrolled. You know, I was shocked that he was cutting out at his mom's house, his parents' house, doing the same thing I was doing. You know, and he decided to go, and in the midst of us going, like, enrolling in barber school, he got killed in a car accident before he could even really get a chance to take his first class there.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, man, it was like that was something that changed me a whole lot. I was so young. I was probably 21, 22,
okay,
young, and didn't really know how to handle like a close friend dying. Right. You know, I had never been through that before. I actually thought about. I said, man, I'm not cutting hair anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to cut hair no more. Cause like me and this guy was growing through it together. Like, I was learning from him. He was learning from me. You know, he was cold. Like, he was. Man, like, you come, like I said, you say his name in our area, man, you're going to get one of the most amazing stories you probably ever heard from anybody because he had touched that many people. Like, he was just a great guy.
That's what's up.
So with that being said, how challenging was going to school with all of that on your plate, just working, dealing with that loss? So how challenging was it, and what did you use to, like, get you through just getting your license and just just moving forward from everything?
Finding my love that I had for that craft. That's what propelled me to do the unthinkable. It became a point where I couldn't sleep at night because I was ready to get to the shop the next morning to put this haircut on somebody's head. You know, and it just, that's when my love for it started, because I started getting a lot of different, just so much support, like so much support, just like a following. I had gained a following because, like I said, when I was in barber school, I was posting a lot. Like, I posted all my work, and people were getting a chance to see it. And I kind of I started making a name for myself. Like, a lot of people that knew about me cutting hair was like my clients. Like, they would probably go out somewhere and somebody be like, "Who cut your hair?" And they would tell by word of mouth, but I didn't have like no platform or anything like that to put myself in position to be seen. But when I went to barber school, it kind of put me in a position where I was seeing different people every day, seeing different people that I wasn't used to touching from where I was cutting when I was home. So it had got to a point where that, like hearing somebody say, "Man, I haven't never had a haircut like this," kind of propelled me to put all my problems and everything I had on the side to focus on this particular craft. And it wasn't that I was trying to do it. It's something that I sit back and look at now. Like, it literally drove me to do some things that I didn't think I was going to be able to get through the next day. Like, it was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to get through the day. I don't know how I'm going to get through this situation. But when it got to a point where it was like, man, I didn't even think about this at all today.
That's what's
because I was focused on what I was doing, focused on clippers, focusing on everything that came with barbering.
Right.
Like, I was focused on it.
That therapy.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, it's been very, like, if I can't cut hair, I literally, like, on days that I be off, I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to get back.
That's what's up.
So just one more question about that I have for barber school was that, I mean, did you breeze through it? Was the academic part, because I know you went to college, so I know there is some structure, dealing with the academic part, but was it a breeze, or was it challenging? How did barber school go for you?
Man, barber school was an experience that I will never forget. Like, that experience that I went through with barber school, I had a group of great guys around me, so they was all willing to learn. Like, everybody was focused on one thing, like trying to learn, trying to be better. So at that point, it kind of made it easier. So we started taking things like the academic part. We would sit up before everybody started cutting. We would sit up and discuss things in the book that we talked about, and we would discuss a lot of stuff that we all needed to know. And we would put each other on things that we did know. Like, we all formed like this brotherhood, like this bond. Like, we would even kick it after school. After school hours. We would all go to this place called Mississippi Grinding. It's a place up here, it's a barber supply place, and we would all take trips up there. And we just being around great people, it made it real easy for me. Like, the cutting part was a breeze,
right.
But like the book was, like I said, I was fresh out of college, so I was good with studying and going through, notes and stuff like that. But it was really it was a great overall experience because my instructor was amazing. He was amazing. Like, he made it very, very easy for somebody like me to not just learn, but be eager to learn.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So how many hours? What were the qualifications to get out of barber school in Mississippi?
You have to have 1,500 hours of training book, and you have to wait before you could actually cut somebody here. You have to have 150 hours of sanitation hours, learning how to sanitize your clippers, your station, all of the things of that nature. And I couldn't wait. Those 150 hours probably the longest hours I ever waited, because it was like I go from cutting hair every day to coming to the school where it's like it was people even coming in like, "Hey man, he let you go today? You gonna cut it down?" Like, "Nah man, I got like 60 more hours left, and then I can cut."
Right. Yeah, just part of that grind.
I got one more question. I mean, I'm gonna be saying that the whole episode, but here's a question. So you picked up the clippers so early, and you cut all through school. The question I have, and it might be controversial, but how important is having a license to your craft? Do you feel like you need to go get your license eventually, or somebody like that's just great at it like yourself? Is it there I go. But I just want to know, what is your feeling on having a license, getting a license, just license in general? Do you need it? Do you Do you not need it? I mean,
Yeah, it was absolutely needed. I knew at some point that I knew for a fact I was going to get my license. I just didn't know when it was going to be something that I took seriously to the point where I'm like, okay, I need my license. I got to have my license. Right. So it was something that I always wanted to, like, I always wanted to get my license. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think I was going to get them so soon.
Okay.
I knew it was coming one day, but I didn't know it was gonna come so soon. I didn't know it was gonna happen the way it happened.
Right. So with that being said, so you went through that process, you put the ball down, you finally realized, look, you know, God done put this gift, and then gave me this gift. I got to go forward. I done got these license now. So at what point? So after you finished school and you got your license, what were your next step? Did you immediately go into a shop at home? You know, because you and I talked. You kind of told me you made a transition of going to a bigger town. But as soon as you finished, what were your next steps in barbering at that particular point?
Yeah, at that point, my next step, I went straight into a shop. I went straight into a shop with some guys I knew, and great guys. You know, I still have a great friendship with these guys to this day. You know, they always told me, like, man, you did, like, they should tell me, like, you can make a lot of money with this, bro. Like, you really have a talent. You really have a gift, you know. And these guys were were the same way. And, you know, I always had a bigger vision. I always had a bigger vision with what I seen myself doing with cutting hair. Right. Like, I always seen myself as a celebrity barber or someone who's like I wanted to be a barber that everybody looked at and see, like, this man is really enjoying his craft. He's benefiting off everything that this craft and this gift has given him, you know, and that's what I always wanted to be perceived at. I wanted to look like this guy's having fun with what he's doing. He loves what he does.
Right. That's what's up. So you worked in that barbershop, and how long did you work in that barbershop?
We moved 3 times. We moved to 3 different locations within a 5-year span. I'm gonna say 4 or 5 year span. Okay. And we moved on Main Street, you know, where a lot of major businesses were in the area. We moved on Main Street, and after we moved there, we moved to another area. And we just got to a point where I had this dream that I had with what I wanted to do with this. I was trying to make it work in the area I grew up in, because I always wanted to put my city on the map. I wanted to put my city on the map for doing what I love to do. And I kept getting, I'll get the running, and all of a sudden I slow down. I get down. I start losing focus. And it get to a point where boom. Every time we moved, I hit the ground running. But I told them, I always tell them all the time, like, what my goals were, what my plans were with this craft. And I told them I wanted to take me to heights that I can't even see.
That's what's up.
You know, and once I hit the ground, when I left, decided to leave, I knew that making this transition to where I made, I knew it was going to benefit me for the better. Right. But I was so scared to make the leap. I was scared. I was scared of failing. I was scared of not being able to succeed. I just thought that it was. I was thinking too much on the negative side. All right. And it's so crazy because my girlfriend, she, like I said, she's a beast. Like, on the nails, she's an absolute beast. And I watched her do it. I watched her take that leap of faith. You know, like, in the city where we're from, she's not from here, so she's from Indianapolis, Indiana. So she didn't have she didn't know too many people in the area, so it was easy for her to leave. Like, she wasn't obligated to no one. See, me, I grew up here, and I felt like I was obligated to everybody. I was scared to make that transition because I thought a lot of people was going to turn their backs on me. I thought a lot of my clients weren't going to follow. It was so much stipulating that move. Right. And I just got to a point where I was like, man, I gotta make this move, and I gotta make it now.
That's what's up.
And when I made it, everything, it seemed like it was already planned, and God was like, you know what? If you're not gonna do what I need you to do, I'm gonna sit you back again. I'm gonna sit you back again until you really do what you need to do to flourish your gift. And ever since I took that move, this is no lie. Ever since I made this move, everything that I dreamed of has been happening.
That's what's
happening back to back. I'm talking about this. Me talking to y'all. I used to dream about things like this.
That's
like being interviewed by like this right here is like y'all are part of the dream that I have right now.
I appreciate it.
And it's so crazy because I couldn't see it for a period of time because I was so out of focus. I was so discouraged. I was so down on myself, and I couldn't see the journey that I'm on now. I couldn't see myself taking it. But I got put in a corner. I had to fight my way out. And I literally had my back against the wall. And I told myself, I was like, man, I cannot fail. I'm not going to do everything I can to succeed, no matter what it is.
That's what's up. Got to move mountains, bro. Real talk. Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So once you made that move, right? So I watched, like I said, I start following you. I'm watching your grind. So you get there now. How far away from home did you move?
About 40 to 45 minutes.
Okay. So it did still allow some of your clients, or maybe all of your clients, to follow you and still come and get right. So when you made that transition, did you go to a shop there? Like, are you part owner? Are you owner of a shop, or did you go cut at another shop?
I'm cutting at another shop.
Okay.
The guys that I'm cutting with, one of the guys I went to school with in barber school for a little while, okay. and he's a beast. Okay. He's a beast. His name is Javian Robinson. Okay. We call him J Bird. J Master Phase, like, man, he always one of those guys was telling me, like, man, you cold, man, you cold. And every time he saw me, he would tell me that. And I'm sitting here like, man, you cold. Like, how are you telling me I'm cold and you the one cold? Like, we always had this conversation. And the guy that he's part owner of the shop with, his name is Johnny Courtney. Okay. We call him Johnny Blaze.
Okay.
And they did a barber class up there, a fading class, and I attended it. Me and Jay, we were pretty close. So when he came to my shop, the shop that I was working with, he told me that they was doing it. I was like, man, without a doubt, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? And when I got there, and this was a year or two before I made my move to where I'm at now, to where they at. They had just getting off the ground up there. Okay. And just up there, and I seen their energy. They was like their energy. They was like brothers. It seemed like they were finishing each other's sentences. Like they were like just the atmosphere wowed me. So I went home with that on my mind the whole time, not knowing 2 years from now that you're gonna be in this same area. You're gonna be working in the same shop with these guys. Like I said, when everything was falling down for me, I called him. I was like, look, bro, I'm ready to make that move, bro. And he put everything in perspective. He was like, bro, I knew it was coming, I'm glad you called me. And they talked it out. And I was kind of nervous about going there further because I was worried about failing. So I kind of was backing off, like, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. And he kind of got discouraged. He was like, man, my guy let me down. I put in such a good word for him, and he's not coming, Right. And I finally called him and was like, bro, I'm coming, man. I'll be there tomorrow.
That's what's up. And bro, they say steel sharpens steel. So you put yourself around guys that go hard and got that talent on that same level or close. All it does is inspire you and make you go hard.
That's their biggest motto: iron sharpens iron. Like that's something they all like. That was the first thing Johnny told me. Like that, their vibe, everything about like they push each other every day. Like we pushing each other every day. We want the best for each other. Like we always positive. Somebody's down, going through something. We talk it out. We like that support is next to none other. Like I can talk to those guys about anything. Like they and everybody in that shop, is a beast. Like, all of those guys are putting it down. Like, I mean, I've never been a part of nothing like this before, you know?
That's what's up.
Seeing, like these guys, like, don't get me wrong, if the last shop I was in, those guys were good, that was good. Like, but I'm in a shop with several guys that are good, you know?
That's what's
up. And it's like, man, like, you don't want to be that person that's that guy, you know? You don't want to be that guy, the one that, we ain't gonna sit in his chair. So it pushes you, and I'm learning a lot from them.
Right. So what, how many barbers, and I'm just curious, how much you guys charge there for cuts?
The range varies, okay. But at a average, you probably looking to spend 45 to 50.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Man.
that's what's
see, see, y'all can vibe. I'm a client, so you know, get it.
But man, for real,
get it.
And you know, it's interesting, and you know, we have a goal. We want to hit all over the globe, man. We want to hit all locations. We, you know, Mississippi, we want Atlanta, California. You know, had someone out of Arizona on with us last week. We want to hit everywhere, and that's the beauty of it. Because I know, you know, I went to school down south, and I was in Arkansas, and you would get people who come from the Midwest and places like that. You know, man, you know, figuring that the South is slow. So that's what's up, man, because y'all right on target with, you know, everything that everybody else is doing at this point in the town that we're in. You know, we're evolving and we're growing, but we haven't hit that $50 mark yet. So, man, congratulations. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
I appreciate it. And what's so crazy about it, like, I wasn't used to that myself. You know what I'm saying? And like when I seen that price list, I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna have nobody. Like, ain't nobody gonna, you know what I'm saying? And it gets to a point now where it's like, man, I can't believe it. It's literally like it's disbelief every time.
Say getting it. That's what's up. You got something? Go.
You know, Austin, we found you on the gram, and you just finished bigging up all your co-workers. Do they have IG like yourself?
Oh yes, sir, they do. Absolutely.
Because I guess my question, and you kind of answered it, but can you just kind of just describe how y'all move on the gram and social media wise, but still kind of keep that local celebrity?
Like everyone in there has a story, and it has some similarities to it. Okay. We all come from small towns. You know, we all have the same dream, the same drive. You know, whether it's for our families, whether it's for, you know, just the love of the game. Like, we all are on one accord to the point where, like, we every time somebody posts, we come in. Every time somebody posts something, we tag each other in our work. Like, everything is like teamwork is something that we're heavily on. You know, everybody has their own persona, but when we're locked in, we're all at one. That's like, our teamwork is none to other. Like, if you need, like, it's some things that I wasn't sharp at. Like we couldn't texture there. I was okay, but I wasn't as sharp as I am today.
That's what's up.
Because somebody in there, Johnny is he's a great guy, great dude, man. I'm talking about, man, he's so willing to help you better yourself that it's amazing. Like, he can probably teach somebody that hasn't been cutting hair for 2 weeks and make them a master barber within a month. Like, that's how hard he grinds to get you to another level.
That's what's up. And you need that. And like he said, we checked you out on IG. Been following you, man, because I follow a lot of barbers, and he does too. And one thing, when we brought you on, introduced you, grinder, hustler, because one thing I see you doing, I see your followings is steady going up, right? You're in the upper nines, 10,000, followers, man. And one thing I see you do is that you post numerous times every single day, and you're going hard, and that's continuing to bring that notoriety out, man. Can you talk a little bit about what social media and what Instagram in particular has done for you in terms of a barber at this point?
Instagram, social media period gave me a voice. It gave me an opportunity to be seen. It gave me an opportunity to let the world know what I love to do,
right,
and how I love to do it. And it's something that I had got so self-conscious, not of my work, but of just me. And I was hiding my gift from the world. And I feel like what I do, it needs to be seen, because it's something that, and the goal is to reach the next person. And ever since I've started showing my work and expressing myself more, I've been inspiring so many people. Man. I be talking to guys on a daily that's in Africa.
That's what's up.
Ghana, places in Nigeria, like places that I've never even set foot on, and they tell me every day how I motivate them to be better, how I inspire them to be better. And I was thinking the situation that I was in was hard, and thinking like, man, it's hard on me. And these guys are cutting, going door to door, and they charging $2 to $5, and it humbled me. It humbled me to the point where it's like I have a gift. Of to inspire people, as well as a gift of cutting hair. And it literally gave me an opportunity to be seen. Instagram put me in a position where I can showcase my talent.
That's what's up. So what would you tell? Yes, sir. So what advice would you give barbers in particular, and young barbers who are trying to grow themselves on social media? Is there any organic advice that you can give them if they're trying to be seen and they're trying to grow?
This is the best thing I can say, and this is something I speak all the time. Like, there is no limitation. You can't look at things with a limitation. Like, you can't. Everything has a starting point. Everything has a starting point. You can't look at today and get discouraged.
Right.
You got to always push forward. Whenever you get a chance or opportunity to take a leap, don't be afraid. Because at the end of the day, you can't win in something you never tried.
Absolutely.
You can't succeed in something you never put forth an effort to. So you never know the outcome. You never know. It's a lot of things that's around it that would discourage you, like failure.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people that succeed in any area or any aspect in life, they failed. They failed at times.
Absolutely.
But it's all about how you bounce back from that failure.
No.
Like, failure is a part of success. It's a major part of success.
Right.
And I was scared to fail. I was running away from the failure. I was scared of the failure because I didn't want that feeling. I didn't want to have that feeling in my stomach that I failed. But I needed that. I needed that to push me.
Right.
Push me to be better, because at the end of the day, you gotta take that leap.
Right.
Like, I have two young boys, two young sons. I have a 3-year-old son. I have a son that just turned 2 last week. Week before last. Well, last week.
That's what's up.
And they are everything to me.
Yeah.
Their mother is everything to me. And I can't put myself in a situation where I gotta push.
Right. So you can.
And a lot of people have things that push them to the maximum.
Right.
And those are things that push me like I wanted to be a better all around person. Like it wasn't just me changing in barber. Like I literally changed like my whole life. Like my whole life has changed since I made this move, since I made the choice to better myself.
Much respect on that move, man. That's what's up. So I have two just quick questions that tag along with the whole IG thing, right? And then my buddy has some questions he's going to run off too. So they kind of go hand in hand. One, how important is it for barbers who are trying to grow to, one, post on social media, and two, who are the barbers on social media that inspire AO the Ace of Fades?
I'm gonna answer your first question first. When you post, you're not posting because I don't post for the followers. I don't post for. I post for me.
Okay.
You know, if you like it, you like it. You know, if you don't, that's fine. I'm posting for me.
Okay.
Because out of all those people that don't like it, there's gonna be somebody in those ones that you inspire, and that's the goal. That's the goal, is to inspire the next person. It could be a barber that's sitting down, going through the same thing you went through, and seeing your story and seeing you flourish, that inspired them to get out and do what they need to do. Like I don't post for clarity from other people, or to impress other people. I post to impress myself. I post my goal is to wow me every time I post. Wow myself, because I know that the goal is to reach the next person. You always want the next person to see your story and benefit off into how it can help them in areas in their lives. So I try to be as transparent as possible when it comes to it. Like I always answer questions. I always give feedback. Like it's even now, with now having a bigger following, I have so many comments now, and I sit down in my low time, my downtime, and respond to every last one of them, because
and that's
I would want that same thing. I would want that same thing. And it means a lot to a lot of people when you do that, because you have barbers that you can come in on that stuff all day and they won't say a thing.
Man, you took
that can hurt you.
Man, you took the words out of my mouth.
That can cripple you as somebody that's trying to grow. It's like, man, I'm looking up to the barber that I look up to on social media, and he won't even respond to me. That can set you back a lot.
Yeah.
Something that small can set you back a lot. So that's why I never want to be that person. I never want to, no matter how big I get, I'm gonna always touch the people, because that's my goal. That's what I want to do. That's what I feel like. I'm always speaking to people. I always want to make them feel like the best version of themselves, regardless of what they're going through. Because you never know. Because I was that guy that I'm always laughing. I'm always talking. You would never knew that I was going through something based off of how I carry myself.
Right.
And you never know what's on the next person's mind. You never know what they're going through. It's hard to look somebody in their eyes and tell what they're going through.
Right.
You can judge them, but you don't know their situation. You don't know what they're going through. So it's easy to be like, oh man, this dude, he's in the streets, he's doing this and that, but you're not knowing why he's in these streets.
Right.
You're not knowing he out here providing for his family, he's trying to do this and that. You don't know his story. So my goal is to, if you run across me on the ground or in the streets, in the mall, wherever you may see me at, I'm going to always try to uplift the next person, because you never know what somebody's going through.
That's what's up.
You never know. I always want to you want to leave people with a positive note, because your positivity might be the thing that changes their life.
Man, you said a mouthful. Yeah. So on that back end, who are the barbers that you follow that inspire you?
I follow a lot of barbers. I follow a lot of great barbers, but this is one particular barber I know y'all know him. The whole world knows him. His name is Richard Payne, also known as Smash the Legend, also known as Captain Smash. Like I followed Captain Smash when he had 2,500 followers.
Really?
I've been following Captain Smash ever since I was in college.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? I watched his whole story. Like if I had a chance to speak with him, he probably would be mind blown by some of the things I tell him because I watched his life so closely. You know, I watched how he moved, watched everything about him.
You've been rocking out with him that long? Wow.
I've been rocking out with him for a long time.
Hey, he's I rate my barbers. He right now he's my number one. He's that guy.
Oh, yeah, he's been my number one for a long time. Like I watched him transition from everything. Like I watched every video he's put out. I watched every tutorial he's done. I watched everything that any type of content he's released. I've seen it. I was probably one of the first to see it.
Wow, he's one of those barbers for me that I got to make it to either Baton Rouge or I got to make it to Houston to get a cut. You know what I mean? He's that guy. He's
definitely one of my goals.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Yeah. Absolutely.
He's humble. Every time I write him, he writes back.
Yep.
Every time I like he was the first, like when I first made my leap to where I'm at to go like he posted something, like he'll post things and it seems like he's talking directly to me.
Right. He like one of them preachers.
And yeah, like he's very motivated.
Right.
And he posted something one day, and I posted it. I posted him in my story, and I tagged him, you know, because I was like, man, you're like this dude has been motivating me for a long time, and he responded,
right,
and it brought tears to my eyes because you know he's been following me for years.
That's big.
I don't even think he even knew I could. He did, because probably about 8 years ago, I posted some of my. No, I would say about 5 or 6 years ago, I posted some of my work, and he liked it. He liked it like 8 pictures, and I screenshotted it, and I still have it on my phone. I screenshotted it, and I gave him a shout out. You know, that was back when shout outs were popping.
Yeah, right.
And I just dropped off the face of the earth. Like I don't even think he even knew I was cutting hair anymore. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna have to tag him on this, man, just for him to know that, you know, we got a platform and you got 2 barbers on here talking about how inspirational, and like you said, I draw inspiration from a lot of cats, right? And like I said, I'm 44 years old, and I'm drawing inspiration off younger cats, man. And I love to see y'all grind, and it makes me want to do more. You know, I learned something. I worked for 20 years, man, in the school system working with kids. And about a year ago, I said, you know what? I hear a lot of people, include myself, man, I can't wait till I'm ready to retire. People retire because you don't like what it is you do. Now I'm smart enough to know that my body is not going to hold up forever to cut hair, but I want to cut hair as long as I physically am capable of doing it, and I want to make money until I leave this earth, as long as I'm doing it the way I want to do it. And that's the difference with this craft, man. So basically, man, you definitely gotta tag him, man, because like you said, man, it's a lot of these barbers, man, and shout out to all the barbers. I got love for all of them, but some of them, man, they don't understand what they mean to the next person, and how that little shout out or that recognition can move mountains for another person, man. And without clients, you know, and without followers, man, you know, it's hard for guys to move in that forward direction. So that man, that's powerful, man. So those are. Go ahead.
He's definitely one of those guys, though. Like he's one of those guys. Like I had the opportunity to meet him.
Okay.
But I didn't get a chance to make. I had signed up for one of his classes before he left Baton Rouge, and I didn't get a chance to go.
Okay.
And it was, man, like I was stoked about it. I was stoked about it, like, cause he's literally like inspiration all the way around. Like I watched his whole empire grow. Like I watched him. Like I said, he was following me when he was following it. You know, when you first start out, you follow everybody back. You know, not saying that I don't follow everybody, but you follow everybody who follow you because you have time to look at it.
Absolutely.
And he's been following me all these years, and like out the blue, like I just was like, man, this dude been following me all this time, and I didn't even. It humbled me. And it made me so proud. It was like, man, I literally watched him grow to this man. Like he's bigger than big now.
Yeah. he is huge. He is huge. Yeah, he's my top 5. He's my number 1.
Yeah, he definitely will always, like, he's definitely one of those guys he's gonna respond to you. He's gonna give you feedback. He's gonna tell you if, like, he's not. You would think, like, guys that's in the position he's in, like, he don't have time to talk to the people.
Right.
But that's what he do. Right. That's what he do. Like, he's all for helping the next person see the next person succeed. Like, he's a very humble guy. And this is a guy that I don't even know, but I feel like I grew up with.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah. So no, go ahead. That's the feel I want to give the next person. Like, I want to be so in touch with the people that they feel like they know me. They feel like, they gravitate towards, just positivity.
That's what's up. Yes, sir.
So, Austin, we about an hour and 15 in. We're not going to keep you too much longer. I just want to pay a bill right quick. This is the I Cut My Way Out podcast. We are everywhere where you can listen to podcasts. Currently, we are joined by an esteemed barber out of Mississippi, Austin, A.O., Ace of Fades. Just continue the conversation for a little bit. What is your top 5? What are your 5 favorite clippers that you're using right now?
My 5 favorites. I'm gonna start off with the GOATs, the Andes Masters. They're legendary. They're something that was my first pair of cutting clippers, and I don't think I'm anything without them. Andes Masters for sure. I like the Andes Slimline Pro LI, the Porter Slim Pro LI, and Bablis has been doing that thing. Yeah. So I can't even knock them at all. I use their Forfix clippers, and I also use their trimmers.
Right.
But the clipper that changed everything about me, I'm gonna say the Wall Heroes.
Okay.
So we had
the Wall Heroes are a clipper that's what, if you can get those trimmers adjusted the way they need to, man, they're gonna hit every single time.
Really,
they don't have to be modified.
Those are the only ones I haven't used. That's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. They're not a clipper that's gonna last years. They'll give you a good 2 or 3 good years, but they're not expensive. You might find some for $35, $45. Absolutely. In that range, but they are definitely worth the investment.
Okay, yeah, we did we had a episode a couple years ago, and my co-host was going on and on about how he a clipper junkie, and he know what clippers coming out, like sneakerheads know what Jordan's coming out. So do you follow clippers, or do you just kind of cut with the ones that you find and that they work for you?
I'll be honest, I'm a clipper freak. I sit up and I watch all the clippers that's dropping. I know about majority of the clippers that drop, but I always find the ones that best are suitable for me. Like I've had my trial and run areas with certain clippers, but because certain clippers work different for certain people. You just have to find something that is more than just how they cut. It's how they fit in your hand, how you can maneuver with them. Because some people maneuver, some people hold clippers different ways.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm not saying this in no bragging way, but I can pretty much take clippers apart and break them down and put them back together to the point where I know I can get this clipper to work for me at some point. I can get this clipper to do what I need it to do.
Okay. That's...
I can go to Walmart and grab some clippers out of Walmart and have you thinking I got them out of Sally.
Yeah. So make it do what it do. Yeah.
So Austin, just another question that I had. You talked about your reach social media wise, and then you've talked about the clients you've had locally. How do you balance the social media reach versus the clients that's actually, coming and sitting in your chair and not letting the social media stuff kind of guide or direct? I mean, how do you keep that balance? I know you've said, the guys that's in the shop and things like that, but one of the questions I had before you really told your story is just is it better for you personally to be popping on social media or to have the local buzz?
Don't get me wrong. Social media is cool. It's a very useful weapon. But at the same time, I'd rather have somebody sitting in my chair. I'd rather have somebody, sitting in my chair. Like the experience from seeing it from social media, it has its aspects. It has its advantages. But when you actually come and you get the atmosphere and you see how it really goes, because I've seen guys that social media work. You see it in person, and you be like, man, that's not the same cut I seen on Instagram. I like somebody to go out and be like, and they call me and be like, man, I was just in the mall, man, and like everybody kept asking me who cut my hair. What did I get my hair cut at? Like I gravitate towards that more versus somebody saying that's a nice cut you had on Instagram,
right?
Because it's like I said, I hate to put a difference between the two, but you have real life and then you have Instagram, you have social media,
right?
Instagram is a lot of things are portrayed differently through the eyes of social media, than what's actually going on. You have guys that got a big following and have a lot of Instagram things going on, and they probably cut 3 hairs a day.
Right, and then you can edit and all the other things you can do, filter.
Yeah, you can do whatever you need to do to your picture.
And the clients
a lot
at
of my
home,
stuff is.
Go ahead.
A lot of my stuff is I give it to you just really how it is. Like I like a lot of times, it's times where I can't post because I be so tied up that I don't have the time to take a picture or do a video. I have to find time to put that in because I'm steady growing.
Right. And then those clients who are at home, those are the ones that you depend on as well as they depend on you. Those are the ones that help you take care of them little fellas, take care of the household and whatnot. You get that following. It's not very often that people are going to fly, across country on a regular basis to keep that cash flow coming in. So, yeah.
But that's why when I do get an opportunity to get them in my chair, anybody, whether it's a new client, somebody, like I said, somebody's coming for the first time, I got to blow your mind.
Absolutely.
I have to. It's only right.
Absolutely.
So, just one quick question: what are your signature cuts? When I was going down, I know you did a lot of like mohawk type looks, a lot of tapers. Like, if somebody say, what's your favorite cut to do? What would
honestly, anything that's dealing with a blend at all, whether it's a bald fade, whether it's a high taper, anything that because like fading is something that I like. I ain't gonna say I love. Like fading is something that I really love to do. Like, I mean, the hair, don't get me wrong, I love edge ups, I love the line, the detail in the line, but a great blend on any haircut will take it off the map. Because you can have haircuts that the blend is not so good, but the hairline is flawless, so you won't pay too much attention to the blend. But once you see the blend, the transition of a fade, and they got the hairline laid, it's going to catch the eye every time. Yes, it don't matter whether it's on IG or whether they're getting out of their car to go into the grocery store. It's going to catch any eye,
Yes.
whether they know about haircuts or anything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. So
my signature cut though, it's got to definitely be a bald fade.
That's what's
I had an uncle who was in the military, and he taught me how to do a bald fade in my grandmother's bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, his haircut used to be flawless when I was a kid. I don't know how he used to get. And when I found out he was cutting his own head, it blew me out the water. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought that was physically impossible for somebody to cut their own hair. Until I started cutting my own hair, you know. And I was a young kid. I couldn't do a bald fade. Like, when I first started out, I was just giving even haircuts, just line ups, even haircuts, and I couldn't get a fade down fade. I couldn't do it until he broke it down to me and showed me how it's done. And I watched him fade my younger cousin and fade himself. And once he taught me that, the concept, to show me how it's done,
right?
It was, I took it and took it to another level.
Say ran with it, huh? Yes, sir.
Yeah, and he played a big part of my life. So he was someone I was looking up to at the time, and it was like, watching. I'm talking about his haircut used to be laid. I'm talking about every time. I never seen him with a hair out of line on his head.
Right. Especially when you can cut your own.
That blew me away.
Absolutely. So I got a couple of more questions. As we get ready to close out, I cannot go without talking about just your hustle and grind in terms of the entrepreneurial thing, right? You're cutting hair, you're behind the chair, but what I'm also seeing that's extremely impressive is that you're starting to make money when you're not behind the chair, and I think that's the legacy of a barber, in our era, right? So can you tell us,
absolutely.
About, I see you have the finishing foam product and you have the merch, with the cards. Can you tell us a little bit about that and where our listeners can access these products and this merch?
I have a website, AOTheAceOfFades.com.
Okay.
And I'm in the process now of getting, like, a lot of the stuff I was doing, like, I was shipping it out personally. People send me that information, I was shipping it out personally. But now I'm in the process of now trying to set up a Shopify or some type of store where I can be able to manage it, because now it's getting to a point where it's growing. It's growing. It was going from word of mouth and from me promoting it and people seeing how it's done,
right,
to now it's growing to a point where it's being requested,
Right.
And I'm going to revamp my whole product line and come out with something bigger, like a whole new thing.
Okay.
And I wanted to. It's just something I want to be known for more than just cutting hair. I want to be known for everything when it comes to hair, like whether it's cutting it, whether it's treating it, whatever the case may be.
That's what's up. Okay. And so you have, so your merch, you have the t-shirts. Do you have hoodies, or right now is it just t-shirts that
I just have t-shirts,
okay,
and I have the wristbands.
Okay.
That's something else that I'm gonna bring to the table with hoodies, because I'm a hoodie guy. Like, I love hoodies. Like, I have a lot of different hoodies. Like, I always love hoodies coming up, and I know people gravitate towards that, and it's something I definitely want to get out there.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. So yeah, that man, you doing your thing, man, and this has been an awesome interview, man. We've had a good time. This has been phenomenal. And again, we just want to provide these platforms, man, and gonna keep doing our thing, man. So we greatly appreciate you. Jinx, is there any other questions you have?
No, Austin, I just want to thank you, echo the sentiments of my co-host, and just thank you.
I appreciate you guys.
Before we wrap up the show, please give us all of your social medias. If you want to give, I mean, it's up to you. If you want to give your phone number, your address, or where you cutting at, big up, the shop where you're at. But this is where you give all your information to where you can be reached. Yeah, just give it up right quick for the listeners.
Yes, I'm my Instagram is AO_B_Ace_of_fades. My personal Instagram is AO the number 1 WAY AO one way. My Facebook, Austin O'Neal Holloway, but I have a business Facebook page which is AO the Ace of Fades. I'm pretty active on all platforms, Twitter, I'm on Twitter, AO one way to go. AO and number 1, WAY, the number 2, GO. I'm pretty much reachable on all those platforms. I respond pretty quickly. If I don't, it's 9 times out of 10 I'm busy, but I'm gonna get back to you. Other than that, I really don't. I'm gonna take that back. Our shop, Blades is located in Ridgeland, Mississippi. The address for Blades is 6954 Old Canton Road, Suite B1 in Ridgeland, Mississippi.
We never got
9 times out of 10, if you stop by there, I'm gonna be there.
So where is Ridgeland at? Is it close to Jackson?
It's in North Jackson.
Oh, so it's in North Jackson. Okay, I think we was talking off wax. So a lot of my family is from Greenville. So it's about a couple hours, hour and a half or so.
Yeah, probably about an hour or two.
Yeah, so
About an hour 30 to 2.
Yeah, so I might have to reach out to a couple of my cousins that's in the area and ask are they familiar with the shop and yourself. But but no, this is AO Ace of Fades. This is the I Cut My Way Out podcast. Again, appreciate you joining us. I know I can speak for you when we say this was an awesome,
Absolutely,
excellent talk.
absolutely.
Austin, we're gonna blow your mentions up because we definitely gonna try to get this out to as many people because you got a great story, a great journey, and it's just getting started.
And we just want to keep providing a platform, big up and celebrating the industry and the culture. Another interview, another episode in the books, man, and we're having a great time with this.
Yep. So that's all we have, and appreciate your listens.
I would also, as we get out of here, I would just like to give a shout out to all the clipper companies, Andes, Wall, Bablis, just everybody, because without them, I cut my way out. Without them, we couldn't cut our way out of our situations, cut our way into situations, nor could clients be as fresh as they are. So we just want to give a shout out to all the clipper companies that supply the barbers out here who are doing wonderful work in the industry. Thank you and salute to everybody.
And until next time, peace.
Put some respect on my name.